Good morning, everybody. It's Unity in the Seven Hills. Thank you for joining us in person here in our church, or if you're out there online. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment all the way through this. We've got a special day. We've got our new minister, Reverend Rick, has joined us this morning, and we see some new faces and some old faces. So let's get started. Let's get to our feet and sing some songs. Let's greet each other with a little good morning unity. Here we go. Good morning, unity. Welcome to harmony. Welcome to those open doors. This church is yours. This is where we learn and grow. Find the things we really know. Look inside to find the way. Start a brand new day. Good morning, unity. Welcome to harmony. Come through those open doors. This church is yours. Good morning, everyone. You're shining like the sun. Glad I made it here in time. This church is mine. Sing it like you mean it. This church is mine. This church is mine. So we're going to have a Christmas song, at least one, each week as we go into this season. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Here we go. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Oh, sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Good morning, Unity in the Seven Hills. I have been so looking forward. You know, I got to tell you, when I was in Tulsa, a friend came up and said, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're going to a conservative church or, liberal church or whatever. It seems like the deal is the music is sort of the warm-up act to then the minister comes on. He said, but when you get to heaven, it's going to be exactly the opposite. The ministers are the warm-up act to the main act, and out will come Merle Haggard. So, I mean, thank you so much. Let's start out by blessing the Christ candles. And it's Advent. We have the Christ candle. We had lit the first one last Sunday for hope and faith. Today, the second candle is lit for peace. And so let me tell a true story. This is a story about Aileen Alexander Newman, who lives in Turin, New York, which is upstate New York. Now, this a few years ago was the height of the pandemic. And she's COVID challenged. She has health issues, so let's not get her into the shopping malls or anything else like that. But she doesn't really know about online ordering. So she starts ordering an online nightlight she has a 6-year-old granddaughter, Maya. And she orders a little nightlight, Christmas tree nightlight, online, and it doesn't come. It doesn't come. And she's heard of supply side shortages, but this company's just in Vermont, just over the state line. She calls the company, and the company says, oh, the package is lost. The package is lost. We'll overnight you the nightlight. Don't worry about it. She gets it the next day. So it's a few days before Christmas, and she makes a phone call. Aileen makes a phone call to her family, and she gets her grandson, who's a little older than Maya, 9 years old, asks says, Chase, what do you want for Christmas? And Chase says, oh, I'd like a nightlight. And she's thinking, oh my goodness, Christmas, Maya's going to open a nightlight. Chase doesn't get a nightlight. She's feeling real, and there's nothing she can do about it. Her husband comes in, says, did you order a package? Did you order a package? Opens it up. There's the nightlight. She calls the company in Vermont and says, charge me for another nightlight. They said, nah, we made a mistake. It's yours. Enjoy. And Aileen writes, I knew that a lost nightlight was the least of God's concerns during a tough holiday season. Yet the giver of all good gifts had made sure a pair of mail-order ceramic trees would cast a reassuring glow over our Christmas, a light for all the nights and days to come. When we can get into that flow of divine order and trust, we can rest in that peace and truly know that all is well. At the end of the prayer for protection, we say, and all is well. All is well because God exists. And when we can get into that flow, that's our first basic principle. God is all there is and is present everywhere. This is the force of love and wisdom that underlies all existence. When we can rest and take a deep breath in that, then things look radically different, and there's a new stride in our step, and we really start getting into the reason for this season. Dear Spirit, thank you for this holiday season. Thank you for our many, many blessings. Help us to remember the reason for this season. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Let's affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart action, and sacred service. And our vision statement, centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love. where innovative solutions are celebrated and all needs are met. And we go back to, every week we look at one of Unity's 5 basic principles, and today we're on that first principle. And so I love the other way. I remember coming here, Nancy Purcell, and the way it was said then, there's one presence, one power, God, the good, and all that. But I love this way of saying it. God is all there is and is present everywhere, is present everywhere. This is the force of love and wisdom that underlines all existence, all existence. Today's daily word, getting into the second Sunday of Advent, is peace. And the affirmation is, centered in God, I am a peaceful presence, stepping away from the busyness of holiday preparations and the important work that must be accomplished before the year's end. I continue my Advent journey by practicing peace in the present moment wherever I am. I am gracious with store clerks and servers in restaurants. I add positive, peaceful thoughts to conversations. When I'm traveling, I bless other drivers with whom I share the road and my fellow passengers on public transportation. Peace flows from the place of consciousness where God's presence fills my awareness. I need not find a quiet corner. When I am willing, anywhere can be a peaceful sanctuary. The peace of God refreshes me and goes with me as I return to the activities of the day. Wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, I am peaceful presence. And from the 29th Psalm we read, may the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Today's daily word is peace, is peace.
Let us bless our youth together. Let's stand and do it. And I think we have another blessing too. Crystal Morandi is here to be our new youth. I don't know. Youth. What's your role? What's that? Youth lady. Youth lady. Okay. I think I know what's going on with the backing track's not working too. There's too many people in the room. It's great to see everybody. It's so great to see everybody. Now, so let's bless our youth together. You are a perfect child of God. God and I love you just the way you are and wherever you are. Let's sing. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, everybody. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All the time. Woo! You can take a seat. I'm going to play you some music. I'm going to play you a Christmas song that I wrote. I have two versions, and I said I was going to do the Share the Light version, but I'm going to do the Be the Light version. We're unity. We are unity. And so I am the light, as you all are. I am love. I am light. I am the brightest star on the deepest, darkest night. I am comfort. I am joy. I am the birthright of the sweetest baby boy. This Christmas time, it's time to shine. My greatest right is to be the light, to be the light, to be the light, be the light, be the light. I am peace. I am blessed. I find the calm of the deepest, sweetest rest. I am hope. I am the spark. I send my bright light into the deepest, bleakest dark. And this Christmas time, it's time to shine. You can sing it with me, come on. My greatest right is to be the light, to be the light, to be the light, to be the light, be the light, be the light. I am the light. Sing with me. I am the light. I am the light. Yes, you are. I am the light. I am the light of God. I am the light of God. I am the light of God. Sing with me. I am the light of God. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And this Christmas time, it's time to shine. My greatest right is to be the light, to be the light, to be the light, be the light.
It's beautiful, Daniel. As evidenced by all these beautiful lights in the seats today, everyone knows who Reverend Dr. Richard Bellows is, but it is my pleasure to introduce him. Reverend Dr. Rick Bellows comes to us following his career in teaching economics at Georgetown University, directing research for the National Policy Association as Vice President of International Chief Economist, and as Vice President of Research for the United Way Worldwide. Dr. Bellows has his doctorate, but was previously had his bachelor's from Columbia University and his master's and PhD from George Washington University. We first met Rick, better known to us as Rick, when he and his family were spending time in Amherst County on the weekends, and they would come here to join us for Sunday services. His home church at the time was Unity of Fairfax, where he served on the board. Following his education and ordination from Unity of Worldwide Ministries, Reverend Rick served as senior minister at the Unity Center of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Not that we didn't try to get him here. He served there for 4 years. He came back to Virginia, senior minister at Unity of Roanoke Valley in 2020, and served until this past week. In addition to serving as our senior minister at Unity in the Seven Hills, Reverend Rick will continue to be an advisor to Unity Worldwide Ministries, and he also serves as president of Spiral Pathways, an alternative unity ministry that is a research network for advancing the evolution of spiritual consciousness. Yeah, man. It is my profound pleasure to welcome our new minister, Reverend Dr. Rick Bellows, and his children, Therese and Robin, back to our Unity family. Check it out. So anyway, Reverend Rick.
Thank you. A longtime member, and I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this weekend and right now. A longtime member of this church came up to me and said, Rick, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to miss today because I was so looking forward. There's a family obligation I have to go to. I said, don't worry about it. Come on next week. Then I said, well, I hope there's a second week, but we shall see. You know, I feel sort of like Jacqueline Kennedy did one time when she was meeting with reporters. It was after the assassination and all that, and she said, you know, speaking of my husband, Jack, President Kennedy, I feel I should have a quote from Scripture or, you know, Shakespeare or Aeschylus. She said, but what keeps running through my mind is a tune from Lerner and Loewe from one of their shows. And it was, never let it be forgot that once there stood a spot for one brief shining moment that was here, known as Camelot. I feel, you know, this day, I wish, you know, what should be running through my head is something from the Bible or Shakespeare or Aeschylus. But what keeps running through my head is the last line from a Humphrey Bogart movie, Casablanca. Remember Casablanca? You know, he's playing Rick, a saloon keeper, and stuck in Casablanca. It's World War II. And he has a free pass to get out of Casablanca and come back to the United States. But there's Victor Laszlo and the great freedom fighter. And he gives the passport, he gives the free pass to Victor Laszlo. So Victor Laszlo, you know, can fly out and do a lot of good. And the last scene in the movie, Casablanca, there's a French police officer. And the French police officer says, it looks like both of us are stuck, monsieur, in Casablanca. But you know what? I think I'm going to start working for the underground against the Nazis. And Humphrey Bogart says, I think I'm going to do that too. And then he takes the cigarette out of his mouth. He looks at the French police officer. He says, Louis, I think this could be the start of a beautiful friendship. And so I say to Unity in the Seven Hills, I take the metaphysical cigarette out of my mouth, and I say, Unity of the Seven Hills, I think this could be the start of a beautiful friendship. So, I'd like to start with a series next few weeks before Christmas. And the series are Christmas gifts you can give yourself. Christmas gifts you can give yourself. Now, I can hear some of you saying, Rick, I already have a to-do list around Christmas out the wazoo. You know, the last thing I need is, you know, one more thing. And also, Rick, have you heard there's something called inflation? The family budget is stretched far enough tight. You know, I don't have money to start giving myself gifts and all that. Well, I promise you, these gifts that I am going to be talking about, they will not cost you a plug nickel. You won't have to go to the shopping mall. You won't have to shop online. But these gifts will really, I swear to you, will really jumpstart and really give a quantum leap to your spiritual walk. And the first gift, which I'd like to talk about today, which I'd like you to give yourselves, is the gift of affirmative prayer. The gift of affirmative prayer. Unity really does stress this. I mean, there are many forms of prayer: petition, supplication. The Apostle Paul says, make your requests known. My God can supply all your needs. But unity really stresses the concept of affirmative prayer. I think so often, you know, when people get into prayer, I mean, they act like they're the dog at the family table, sitting under the table, hoping a few scraps will be thrown to the, oh God, please, if you get me out of this mess. If you give this to me, I promise you I'll eat nothing but carrot sticks and bowls of hot steam for the rest of my life. And affirmative prayer unity really stresses you're a family member. You're a full-fledged family member of that divine family. You are sitting at the table. Two things which Jesus said. I have come that they may, and this is sort of at the bedrock of affirmative prayer. I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. The other, it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And so in starting to look at affirmative prayer, I would ask you, do you really believe that? Do you really believe it's the Father's good pleasure? Or Mother, Father, God? Do you believe it's Buddha nature's pleasure? You fill in the blank. Let's not be parochial about it. To give you the kingdom. Or do you believe that you were born under a bad sign? And unity stresses very much, you were born blessed. You have to hear my story. You have to take out the violin. Here's my story. It's sad, but beyond that, yeah, nobody comes through this thing called life unscathed. We all get knocks. But to realize that fundamentally we are born blessed and remain blessed. And Reverend Edwin Gaines, that great unity minister, a powerful ministry, a lot of times surrounded about prosperity. She says, well, do you believe that it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom? And a lot of times the answer she gets from people are, well, kind of, sort of. And her answer is kind of, sort of produces kind of, sort of results. Kind of, sort of results. If we can really go in there and, start looking, so the first thing about affirmative prayer is, what's blocking me off? And that's what spiritual direction is all about. That I have the great honor of doing spiritual direction every month with Reverend Robert Brummett, who many of you know his books, Finding Yourself in Transition and all that. Pastoral counseling is dealing with the crisis du jour. Spiritual direction is dealing with what's blocking you off from a deeper relationship with God. And for many of us, we still, after all these years, we still have lingering remnants or traces of, the old, if we step on a crack, some divine force is going to zap you, one. We're not truly believing that God really has our back covered or really, truly loves us. Getting and dealing with that stuff, is at heart of affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer is affirming that you are in the creative partnership with God. And it is affirming your dreams and visions. Affirming your dreams and visions. Jesus said, where did Jesus teach affirmative prayer? All over the Gospels. But Mark Twain said that nobody was ever saved by a sermon which went over 20 minutes. And I'm going to try to hold to that dictum. So I'm only going to give one example. But there are many, many examples where Jesus taught this. The example I'm going to give is in Mark chapter 11, the Gospel of Mark chapter 11, where Jesus says, when you pray, believe that you have received, and you will receive. When you pray, believe that you have received, and you will receive. Now, let's get into the story when he said that. Let's remind ourselves a little bit about the geography of Jerusalem and the surrounding country. Jerusalem is sort of on the top of the mountain area. And really, every time it says that Jesus went and the disciples went to Jerusalem, it really should say that he went to Jerusalem and Bethany. Jerusalem's here, Bethany's down here. What how they did it, they would spend the night in Bethany, then in the morning get up and go climb up to Jerusalem, do whatever they were doing in Jerusalem, and come back down to Bethany. Now, why he did it that way, I don't know. Maybe he got a better Airbnb deal in Bethany than he could have gotten in Jerusalem. I mean, Jerusalem Airbnbs have been overpriced for years. So anyway, let's also remind ourselves that this story took place BV, before vending machines. I mean, it wasn't like you got up in the morning, you went to McDonald's and got a sausage egg McMuffin. So they get out and they're walking up the hill going to Jerusalem, and Jesus is hungry. Now, this is before the season where the figs are on the fig trees. And when a fig tree has figs to eat, it has a bloom on it, a blossom on it. And so Jesus is walking, he's hungry, and he sees one fig tree which has a blossom on it. And he goes over to the fig tree, it has a blossom, must have a fig. And he sees that it just has a blossom, but it has no fig. Has no fig. He starts looking at the fig tree and he's cursing it out. And I'm not making it, go look about it. He's cursing out a fig tree. Peter sees him cursing out the fig tree and all that. And again, I don't care whether you take this story literally or metaphysically. It's a powerful story, you know. So anyway, climb up to Jerusalem. They do what they're going to do in Jerusalem, and they come back down. They come back down, and Peter looks and he sees that this fig tree is withered. And he says, Rabbi, the fig tree is withered. And he's amazed at this. And Jesus says, what's so surprising about that? When you pray, believe that you have received, and you will receive. Now, my dealings with affirmative prayer, I came into Unity, what was it, in the 1980s. And so now it's the 1990s. So when this story happened to me, I was not a newbie in Unity. I'd been in for over 10 years, and I was the chief economist for a think tank in Washington. The think tank was going through some problems, and I was called into the office, and I was fired. First, I was angry, I'm being the scapegoat, but then I started going into real fear. Oh my God, how are we going to pay the bills? And I am never going to I have no job prospects. I am never going to be able to get a job leading a research team like I was. Nobody's ever going to hire me at that level. And going down the two, this thought came to me, affirmative prayer, affirmative prayer. I thought, what do I have to lose? So I went, took out, it was a piece of notebook paper, cheap notebook paper, and I started writing a letter. Dear God, and again, no job prospect, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the job which is on its way. I know the job is on its way. And you know, Emmett Fox, that great New Thought teacher, said, and talking about affirmative prayer, he said the difference is after you get the gift, if you say thank you, that's proper etiquette. That's proper etiquette. Saying thank you before the gift arrives, that's faith. That's faith. And so I said, dear God, thank you for the job which is coming. I had no prospects. Thank you for the job which I know is coming my way. I know it will be a job where I can do a great deal of social good. I will be leading a wonderful research team. And it will be financially rewarding. It will be financially rewarding. I know I have to do work to get this, but I want to thank you for sending it to me. Love, Rick. I took that and I put it in to my Bible in the 4th chapter of Paul's letter to Philippians, where he does say, make your prayer requests known. My God can supply all your needs. I put it in there, shut the book, and And you know, the first thing that changed was the fear left me. The fear left me. It's very interesting in AA, the Alcoholics Anonymous, the big book of AA, they make promises. If you do these steps, certain things will happen. And it does not, the promise is not financial insecurity will leave you. The promise is that fear of financial security will leave you. For some reason, I started feeling good. And I said, God, I have no rational reason to feel good, but I do. And you know what? During that period, I had some days where I had bad 10 minutes. And I remember there was even one day where I had bad 20 minutes. But I never had a bad day. And I had that faith, that sense. There was a stride in my step. And bills got paid. I mean, hook or by. Sometimes it was a squeaker whether bills were going to get paid on time, but they got paid on time. And at the end of the 8 months it was, the United Way called me and asked me if I would be their chief economist. I mean, talk about a job where I could do social good. It was a wonderful research team, and they were paying me more than I had ever made before. And I saw the power of affirmative prayer. Now, let me get to the punchline, because there's a sort of postscript to this story. That think tank that I was working for, 2 years after I started working for United Way, that think tank went bankrupt. I mean, what I looked at as one of the worst tragedies in my life, it turned out God was giving me an early lifeboat off the Titanic. That I made a move and it was the right industry, it was the right thing. I never would have done it if I hadn't been fired. I never would have done it had I been fired. And it just showed me and proved to me the power of affirmative prayer. So I'd like to as I hope you start giving yourself this gift of affirmative prayer, I'd like to make some suggestions. The first one is go back. Take those statements from Jesus, I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Do you really believe that? Or do you believe that somehow you're terminally unique? You know, I mean, it applies to everybody else, but it doesn't because of because of what I did in 1996 or because of, and to go through that and start, getting rid of those vestiges of an SOB that is going to strike you, do you really believe that you were born blessed and remain blessed? And work on that. I mean, that is, I think, so important. And then taking it to God. Is this something, before I start using affirmative prayer on something, is this something which I believe will enhance me spiritually? And if it's not going to enhance you spiritually, don't waste your time with affirmative prayer on it. I'll give an example. The fellow who introduced me to Unity, Gordon, back in the 1980s, he doesn't have any children, different budgets and everything than me. He loves, his cars are, we're talking really expensive, So we're at a car show, and I think we were in this model BMW or something. He turns to me, he says, Rick, have you ever had the desire to own a real car? And they're nice. They're nice. But and I'm only speaking for me. I don't think that I have a Honda Civic. It's a nice car. It works, and I'm happy with it. I don't think the upgrade is going to advance me spiritually. So I don't waste my time on it. Let me also, another wonderful story, a person you're going to hear a lot more about from me is Tasha Silver, who, wonderful spiritual teacher. She wrote a wonderful book called Change Me Prayers. And by the way, those days where I start off prayer and meditation, and the prayer is, God, I need an attitude adjustment. You know, those are days which really flow well. But anyway, she writes this story where she was talking about affirmative prayer, and a woman named Pam writes to her this following letter. She said, I have a friend named Deb, and I told Deb all about what you said about affirmative prayer, and she figured that if the mind really works in sending positive stuff, it should also be work in sending negative stuff. So she's been lighting a candle and sending hatred to her ex-husband 10 times a day because of you. She's been visualizing up a storm, imagining every possible horror raining down on him. She's got a whole new lease on life. Tasha said, I'm speechless. Then Pam went on, so she wanted to thank you. Her psychic work is finally paying off. Bad juju has come to this creep. A car ran a red light and hit him on Guerrero Street and cracked some of his ribs. Now he can barely breathe, and he's losing his house. Oh, and his cat has feline leukemia. Deb is overjoyed. Tasha says, well, this was so wrong. She was dumbfounded. Obviously, she said, descending, negative out and all that, it's going to boomerang on you and boomerang quickly. So, that's obvious. I mean, I laughed when I read that, but asking yourself, is this something which is really going to advance me spiritually? And if it's not, don't waste your time on affirmative prayer on it. The other thing which I would strongly suggest you do is when you pray affirmative prayer, any type of prayer, this or something better. Add on this or something better. Because if it is not this, believe me, it will be something better. I can't tell you how many of my long-run problems started out as my brilliant short-run solutions. So, I mean, this or something better. The other thing which I would strongly suggest is that you work with a mentor or spiritual counselor on, affirmative prayer. And I would also suggest that you write it down. There seems to be something, for many of us, there seems to be something so different when we start writing the things down. It really seems to truly does make a difference. So I think it all boils down to a few key points. First, work on it. Do you really believe that it's God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom? Or is there still lurking in your life, I was born under a bad sign and it's always going to remain this way? Work on that. And some of us have, it's hard to totally, wash this man right out of my hair. It's hard to, wash it just totally out of your hair, but work on it. And I would say, have a vision or a dream of what you really want. Asking God, will this really advance me spiritually? And then also, I would say, going back to what Jesus said, believe, when you pray, believe that you have received and you will receive. And again, going with this or something better. This or something better. This Christmas, I urge you, give yourself the gift of affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer works. It works big time. I would suggest, quite frankly, that you look at affirmative prayer like Humphrey Bogart did in that movie. You take out the metaphysical cigarette out of your mouth and you look and say, affirmative prayer? I think this could be the start of a beautiful friendship. Thank you, and God bless.
I was going to say something about bringing hair into it. Some of us, it's easier to wash out of our hair. All right. We are going to go into meditation now. So I'm going to turn this light off up here. And join me in singing When I Pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Let's take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Let's take another deep breath in and slowly let it out. Let's close our eyes if we wish. Dear Spirit, dear Mother, Father God, help us to open up to that peace that passes all understanding. And in this busy season, with long to-do lists, shopping malls, frustrating experiences, online shopping and everything, help us to remember again, once again, the reason for this season, which is the rebirth of the Christ within. We call it the Christ within, but it has been called by so many different names: Buddha nature, Atman, the perennial philosophy, higher power, higher self. When we are aligned with that and flow with that, then we have the greatest gift of all. And in that peace, we gladly go into the silence. In Hebrew, peace is shalom, the greeting that people give. But shalom, peace, means more than just the cessation of hostilities. It means wholeness. Wholeness. Completeness. The gift that we've always been looking for. Thank you, dear Spirit, for the rebirth of the Christ within us. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Let's stand and sing. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. all is well.
Why don't we start? This week, when I came up and started December 1st, Ari and Bonnie kept giving me, saying, well, here's the order of the service, but if you want to change, and I said, no, I believe in evolution, not in revolution. So I only made one change, of the whole thing, and it wasn't even in the script or anything. It was just moving the affirmation bowls, moving the affirmation from the back to the front. So when you come on down, please, and I know a lot of you give online or whatnot, your powerful blessings are really welcome. Take an affirmation. Prayer box is, the prayer box is also here. It's a weird, it's almost like I Ching. It's weird I have found my last week at Unity of Roanoke Valley, I did it and I picked out, and what it said to me was all is in divine order. And I felt so blessed by getting that. Let's say our abundant affirmation. Unity in the Seven Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. And with this abundance, it's time to share our blessings. This month, we are not only supporting Unity institutions, Silent Unity, et cetera, but locally we're also supporting CASA. There are many ways to give here: PayPal, Zelle, check, or cash. Also, quite frankly, what's really important too is not just finances, but time, treasure, and talent. And I know many of you are doing it. As our greeter directs you row to row, please place your gifts in the basket up in the front, and then let's join in a circle around the sanctuary. If you have to give today is love, come on up and bless it. We want that. And now let's sing something wonderful.
Let's stand and sing. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful. Let's do it again. There's a lot of people here today. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. all this love inside. We can let it shine. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no, it won't let go. All this love inside. We can let it shine out. Yes, we can. Something wonderful. All right. Yeah, we're going to have to. Or I'll get my guitar on that one. All right. Let's please join us in the blessing of the gifts together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. Now, our closing statement. Thank you for joining us today, everybody, whether you're here in person or the folks out there online. A calendar of events is available at unityinthesevenhills.org. Let's all say that together. unityinthesevenhills.org. And there are copies in the back also. Here are some important upcoming items, though. A gift of amaryllis or paper whites purchased from the giving link on our website, unityinthesevenhills.org, will be not only a gift for a loved one, but a gift for your Unity community. Deadline for orders is December 15th, but order soon to get them by Christmas. Join us for Christmas Eve service, December the 24th at 5 p.m. Also, we will be here on Christmas morning. Woohoo! Get up early with the kids. I'm going to be here. Open those gifts, and no, it's going to be the other way around. And come share some festive Christmas community. It's going to be church first and then gifts later. A real quick reminder, the Wise Women will meet this Tuesday. That's the 6th of December. Also, keep an eye out on the 7th for the first of Reverend Rick's special blogs. It will go out via email, but you will also be able to read it on our website as well.
We also didn't get it on the announcements, but on December 17th, we will be having an angel circle with our own Pamela Smith.
Nice.
So look for those details.
So your prayer chaplain today is Sally Ingram, and she will be around to hold space with you after the service. We're about to close with a peace song and then gather together downstairs for our potluck. We know everyone here wants to. But before we do, if you're watching at home, like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell icon to know when we are going live again. Now let's close with the peace song. I think actually there's something else that's not in the slides. Is it your birthday this month? Yes. Is it your birthday this month? Anybody whose birthday it is, let's put you in the middle of it's Jim's. This is for the folks out online as well. So, and let's do something else, if it's okay with everybody. Reverend Rick, would you like to be in the middle of our circle today? And we'll bless you and Jim as we go into this future, and this might be the start of great friendship. Beautiful. Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched that film. All right. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday to you. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. And one more song, let's sing along. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Thank you, everybody.